Hey everybody, it is your favorite Wild Preacher's Kid. Yes, it's Lady Alicia James Abdullah in the building. You guys, I'm so excited. I have a fantastic guest. Now, I'm not going to tell her story because she has to tell her own story because that's not what we do here on Wild Preacher's Kid. But I immediately had a kinship with her, and I went to her salon. She had a barber there. At that time, I was learning my hair and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I sat across from her and I just listened to her talking to someone else about an event that she was doing. And I was like, this woman is in the same vein that I'm doing things. I was like, I really like her. She's cool. And you'd be surprised who you meet. And right now I have Miss Bernita Allen. She is fantastic. She is kind. She's a mommy. She's a teacher. She does so many great things, but I'm not going to tell her story because that's not what I do, right? So go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Well, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. And congratulations on everything that you're winning right now. So just congratulations
Fine.
on all the wins.
You.
But I am Bernita, small town girl from Butler, Georgia, which is not that far from here. Um, this is always the hard part when people
I
ask
know,
you
right? Right.
to introduce yourself. You want to start with all your titles, but I'm a mom. I'm a child of God, first of
Oh,
all. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. Um, I'm a friend. I'm me. I'm me. And I do so many things. God has blessed me with so many different talents, and I'm just me.
I love it. Now, see, she's being very humble right now, you guys, but I promise you, she is like just her presence, her spirit, like she's so encouraging. Like there's not too many people out here just naturally encouraging. Like you can be around somebody and they're like, "Oh yeah, good job." But no, like I did like y'all have heard before. I did my Pillow Talk conference. She was one of my vendors, and as discouraged as I was when I left there, because I had an empty room, she came up to me and she was like, "This was so good." And I believed her. I believed her, and I was like, I needed some in that moment. I needed somebody to say that because I was like, God, I did what you told me to do, and I felt like I failed. But she reminded me that in moments like that, I'm still walking in God's grace and His mercy, and He's can smile on me too. So I want to say thank you publicly for that moment. It impacted me on a completely different level even in that season of my life, because I had found out that I was pregnant too. Girl, the emotions were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Look. But I want to talk about some of the projects that you have been working on that I can't wait to come and speak on it because you invited me one time, but if you have me, I will come and be a guest.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. She had a session called Sis, Are You Okay? And it was surrounded by mental health and just checking on your sister and being your sister's keeper. And that's really my heart and mission. But what led you to doing that?
Okay. And if you don't mind, I want to back up for just a second to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I know you say you met me at my salon, but actually, it actually dates back a little bit further than that because when I transferred from Columbus State University, I transferred from Columbus State University to Macon State. It's Middle Georgia State College now. But
Mhm.
I was living in Fort Valley and I started going to church in Warner Robins. And you was actually on the praise team at the church that I was
Oh,
attending. And I don't really just normally go up to people and talk to them, but your presence just on the stage, like not stage, but on that pulpit,
oh.
stuck with me. So just know that although you say that we met at my shop, I actually knew your face before then. So for
Oh,
me, I never said anything to you because I don't normally just go up to people and talk to them.
oh my goodness. Oh, now I'm blushing, y'all. Why you have to be mindful of how you are in all spaces, because I would have never known that. How would I have known that church was is considered a mega church, let alone here in Warner Robins, Georgia as well. And I just I'm
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thankful. I'm
And I'm
thankful.
going to say this, your energy, you have such high energy. Your energy then is the exact same as it is now. So
I
you
try
are who you are, and I
to
love it.
tell people. I had people go, "There's no way you're like this."
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know how to be any other way. This is it. I'm sorry, not sorry. Like this is it. I try
Yeah.
to be consistent. Like it's not for show. I know how to put on a performance, but people want genuine connection. They want to feel loved. They want to feel appreciated. So I'm glad that this is a witness, everybody,
Yeah.
that she sees I'm consistent. I appreciate that. You encouraging me. See,
Absolutely.
look, didn't I say she's encouraging?
And it dates all the way back to, I think I left Columbus back in like 2008. So around that
First
2008,
podcast.
2009 time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If we're gonna have to have a different talk. We're gonna camera
Yes,
like where I
ma'am.
was in that season. Yes, ma'am. Come on. Okay, now, okay. Well,
Okay,
enough
okay.
about
Get back.
me. Look, I won't
Let's
get
get
back
back.
in.
Let's get back to
Go ahead. Tell us
Okay.
about your event.
Oh wow. So okay, so sis, are you okay? Let's see. I started first of all, God gave me the vision for it during the pandemic. So we were all very busy, right? And then the world shut down. And at that time, I was a public school teacher. And so I was still working from home, which I found out during that season that working from home was not for me. Let me just throw
Okay.
that out there. But I was working from home. But as most people during this time, I found myself getting very depressed, getting anxiety was high, right? And so during that time, I was like, we say that word sis so loosely, like the word hey friend, hey
Yeah.
sis. It's a word of endearment, but we say it so loosely. And so during that season, and I'm considered a strong friend. I'm one of the strong friends. And I know you are too, right? So, but during that season, my question I kept asking myself was, am I okay? Like for real. I mean, I think I do very well with functioning in high stress levels, but during that time it almost like the world had to shut down for me to see that I really was not okay. And so it literally came to me then, sis, are you okay? And I slept on it for a while. But when God really gives you something,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay in the back of your head. It's gonna keep playing. I would wake up in the middle of the night, like literally wake up in the middle of the night, like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? And I was afraid because I was like, first of all, nobody's gonna support this. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this. I really don't. And so I decided to just do it. I did it scared, and I decided to just go ahead and have my very first seminar. And the seminar centered around so many topics that we go through as and I'm gonna be honest, my target audience is our Black and brown queens. It is. It's our African American women. That's what my target audience. But this is for anybody that needs it. That's a female.
Right.
And so I decided to go ahead and have the seminar. And I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna have the seminar, but now I need you to tell me which direction. Do you want me to have an open panel discussion? What is it that you want me to do?
Yeah.
And so when I got confirmation to do an open discussion panel, I was like, okay, now I need real people on my panel. I want people where our energy mesh, and I want people that's genuine, that doesn't have a motive, and people that really have gone through these things that can help other women come out of the things that's now a testimony for them.
Right. Right.
And so I did. God laid 4 or 5, I think it was 5 ladies on my heart at that time. And I reached out to each one of them, shared my vision. Sometimes it's scary when you're sharing your vision with people
Yeah.
because you don't know if they're going to support it or not.
Yeah.
And so, but all these ladies were on board. They were on board. So we talked about so many topics down to domestic violence, because one of the ladies was a domestic violence victim on there. Survivor, not a victim, survivor. One lady had actually checked herself into a mental health hospital because she literally was on the verge of committing suicide. I represented, because I wanted to tell my story as it relates to finding my dad at a such later point in my life. So it was just so many different topics that we touched on, and I wanted to keep it intimate. I didn't want to lose the intimacy in it, so I had it in a small venue. And wow, that was in 2021, 2022 when I had it. And yeah, I mean,
it was, now look, I wish I could have went to it. When I saw that you had done it, it was after I saw all your pictures.
mm-hmm.
But I had 2 friends that went, and they have not stopped talking about it.
Really?
Yes, they had such a good time. And when I saw, that's why when I saw it, I was like, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I was like, if you need something the next time you do this, you let me know, because there's so many of us that are hurting silently, that are in these situations, that are dealing with things that are so heavy. And it is within our culture as Black women to bear the weight of it all, and to do it quiet. Keep the secret, keep the hurt, keep the struggle, keep the pain, keep the weight. And in the journey of discovering ourselves, we're not always supported either.
Right.
We're
Right.
like, I'm in a bad spot. I need some help. And they go, no. Just pull up your bootstraps and you just get back out.
Right.
It's like, I
Right.
need some help. I need y'all to listen to me. I'm struggling right now. So to see someone connecting with women about their mental health, their emotional health, their spiritual health as well, like on all levels, it is such a beautiful thing. Now, you did bring up your journey in trying to find your father. So tell us a little bit about that, because what made you even want to do that at that time?
Oh wow. Okay, so I say finding, but he was right there the whole time, right? So I started therapy as a result of, the pandemic, as a result of, and I was going through so many different things. The loss of friendships, I was going through so many different things that I thought were so like bad and so negative at that time, that I was like, okay, I gotta go talk to somebody. And it can't be just my pastor. It can't just be, and I love my pastor, don't get me wrong, but I need to talk to somebody that really have some professional tools that can really help me, right?
Yeah.
So I started therapy. I had one of the best therapists ever. I started therapy, right? And in the midst of starting therapy, one of the things that came up and out in our therapy session was, I felt like I had every piece of my puzzle except for that one piece, which was my dad. So the backstory behind it is that, and I love my mom. I love my mom. My mom is amazing. My mom was married, right? She was married to my sister. I have an older sister. She's about 8 years older than me. My mom was married to her dad. And I carried my sister's dad last name throughout high school, throughout my whole life until I got married, because my mom was married to him, and there was nobody that signed my birth. There wasn't a male that signed my birth certificate at my birth, and so I always carried that last name. And the crazy thing is, my sister dad, and I refer to him as my sister dad during this time. But my sister dad would always still come around. I was never a stranger to the family. I was never a stranger to him. But there was also another man that my mom thought was my dad. And so I grew up around that family. And I gained 2 beautiful sisters from that family as well. And so, but there was always, we're from a small little town, so there was always that little question as to, is she this side of the family, or is she that side of the family? And it almost was like a loss of identity. I was missing my identity. Like, I knew who my sister belonged to. She
Right.
looked just like them, right? At that time, I was like, I don't really look like my mom. Don't really know if I look like this man that they say is my dad, and I don't really know if I look like my sister dad. So I went through high school and everything really with that question of, who do I belong to? Where do I get this type of personality from? Where do I get my eyes from? Just the things that we ask, right?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until literally in 2021, 2022, in a therapy session where we brought it up, and that was one of my tasks. One of my tasks was to find out who is my father. And so I could not test the other man because he had passed away. But I have a brother on my sister dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a sibling test. I did a sibling test with my brother, and I did a sibling test with the deceased dad child, with my sister, because I still call her my sister too.
Right.
And when the results came back, it came back that my brother, we shared the same DNA. We were biological siblings, and the only way we know that could happen is we got to have the same daddy, because we did not have the same mother.
Right.
And so I remember being at work, and I remember getting the results through the email. And when I opened it up, I was shocked because I literally did not know 100% if the deceased man was my dad.
Yeah.
I also did not know 100% if my sister dad was my dad.
Oh.
And he was my dad. Oh. And I didn't know how to feel. I mean, I was in tears. Right. I went through all the emotions. And so, we had to unpack that in therapy also.
Yeah. Wait.
I didn't know if I wanted to be mad, happy, sad. You've been right here the whole time. Like, I didn't know what to feel, but I felt all the feelings, and my therapist helped me work through that.
I can only imagine though, like this whole time you've been questioning it, and you literally already had what you were
right there. Yeah, he was right there the whole time.
Man, all you needed was confirmation.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And it's so crazy because after receiving the actual confirmation, then I start noticing all the facial features and all the physical attributes. And I'm like, wow, I do look like him. Or, my kids look like him. Like, then I start noticing it after.
In him.
Yeah.
How was, if you don't mind me asking, how was his reaction to it?
Okay, so when I called him, he told me, I said, so I got a test done, yada, yada, yada. I told him all that. And I said, and I found out you are my dad. And he was like, I always knew that. He called my sister Boot, and he called me baby girl. Always have. And he said, I always knew that. I always knew that you were my child, baby girl. Yeah. And so he said he always knew. Yeah. So there was a point where he went through being a little sad about it, because although he said he always knew, he felt like he needed to make up that time with me, which we know we can't get back lost time, but he like, wow, you've been right here the whole time, and I knew it, but I just didn't do anything about it. And so and he actually said to me, I allowed you to go around another man and another man to raise you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I think what's good about that as well is that, he recognized that there were some opportunities that were missed to really be impactful in your life. And it's like, even though he was there and you knew of him, and y'all spent some time, were able to interact with each other, but in the long run, you had two dads.
3, actually. So, and I say 3 because the deceased man was in the picture, right? Mm-hmm. My actual dad that I found out is my dad was in the picture, but my mom and I call him my stepdad because he's been with my mom since I was about 5 years old.
Okay.
Amazing, amazing stepdad, but they're not married because my mom was married to my dad. But I always call him stepdad.
Gotcha.
So, and that's what my therapist got me to see. She got me to see that I was loved
Yeah.
from all angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, because I know sometimes even just in for you, you felt like there was a disconnect because you didn't know for sure. But at the same time, God still sent people to love on you, to fill those gaps, to fill those voids, to stand with you and your mom as well, to make
Yeah.
sure that you had exactly what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Even, there's someone out there who is a single mom and they wish that they had a young man in their life that would stand up and help raise their kids and be like, that's my kid too. And I mean, even afterwards, like, these men are still have been impactful in your life. And it's just it's a beautiful thing. And so you're talking about siblings. How did they react to all of this?
So they were happy. Well, let me say this. They were happy. My sister that is now, I know, my full sister, my full blood sister, like we had the same mom, same dad. She
Mhm.
was happy. She probably more happy than I was. She was like, ah, we got the same mom and the same dad. My brother who actually did the test with me, he was happy as well, because that's my little brother. So it felt good to know that I actually have. I'm an older, like I'm the middle child now, but
Right.
yeah, he was happy. My sister, and I still refer to her as my sister. My sister that we did not get the results that we thought we was gonna get. It was hurtful.
Yeah.
That was hurtful, but we made sure that we reassured each other that we were still sisters.
Right.
So even to this day, we still, you wouldn't even know it. When I host Christmas all the time because my house is like the big melting pot. Everybody, like, I need every angle of every family to come. And so she always shows up with her kids, my nieces and nephew. So honestly, you would walk in the room and you would never know. Like, we just feel
Oh,
like this.
yeah. That's such a beautiful story. I love that. And then the fact that even there's so many, I just want to say this. There's so many Black families that have so many family secrets,
Yeah.
don't share it because they're worried about the fallout. They're worried about what it'll do to the family. And to hear that this is a success story. If you are someone who's listening to this,
Yes.
got and you're just scared to face the truth, I
Mhm.
think it ended up just bringing all of you guys closer together to find
Mhm.
that out. And then that brought
It,
you peace.
yes, it did. And I have to say too, like, I didn't, most people when they go through something like that, you wonder how are you gonna feel towards the other parent. But I literally, as a adult woman now that's growing into this womanhood world, I understood my mom and
Yeah.
I understood the decisions that she made at that time. So I hold nothing against her at all as it relates to that. She's been a great mom.
Yeah, that's
She's
good.
a great grandmother. And so there's no love lost. There's, she's never lied if I say that, she's never told me anything wrong as it relates to that. She never lied to me. So she made it clear that it could be a possibility that it's this person or that person.
Right. Right. But I mean, even that is good as well, because a lot of times I know that we all process our feelings differently. We have to express them the way that we know how, and whatever journey that you go through. But your mom was a woman too. She was a young lady at one point, making the best choices that she could, and I think you were able to see her not just as your mom, but as a woman. We forget that
Absolutely.
as our, technically you're her kid, so
Right.
you can easily go, "Mom, what were you doing? You
Right, right, right.
and you were able to just receive her in love and be like, "Mom, it was okay. Like, I get it. I'm an
Yeah.
adult too. Like, a lot of us are trying to figure this thing called life out, and
Hmm.
you were giving
Yes.
her grace. Come
Yeah.
on." Yeah,
I know that's not what they do now. What they clock the
it
tea?
is. That's
How they
right.
clock the tea?
Come on, giving mom grace. I know that
Yes.
I sometimes struggle with that because the way that I am is like I think once you get past some of the hurt feelings or some of the expectations, you're like, no, I can see you as a person. I can see you
Right.
as a woman and or as a man, and it's like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas don't matter anymore. What's happening right here, right now is that I'm glad that I know I have peace about it, and now I can move in this direction. Now we can. There's no more elephant in the room.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I literally just said this to somebody not too long ago. And you know, my dad just transitioned in May. But one of the things that I recently just said to someone was I felt like I needed to make sure that I healed first before I was able to tackle the task. See, I didn't know,
Mm,
of course, we don't know the future. I didn't know the task that was going to be at hand when my dad got sick. I didn't know that I was going to have to roll up my sleeves and put my big girl underwears on. I didn't know that I was going to have to step into those big girl shoes as it relates to my dad and his health. But I think if I was an unhealed version of myself, I would not have been able to do that.
that's really
So looking back at it, it gives me chills thinking about it. But looking back at it, I needed to heal. I needed that to happen then so that I could show up the way I did for him in
right.
his last days.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, look, we're not about to do that.
I'm
We're
not.
not.
Okay,
Listen, we're not
I'm
doing that tonight.
looking over there. I'm looking over there. Hold on. I got it.
We're not gonna do that tonight.
Okay. Okay. Look, we cry on this podcast. I don't know about everybody else, but I want to commend you, like, just to be in a place where you can recognize that God was preparing you. He knew what was to come, and it's like He didn't want you to. It's two things that are happening simultaneously. It's giving you closure and giving Him the opportunity to to be the dad that you needed, and for you to be the daughter that you wanted to be.
Mhm.
Like, He closed all those gaps for you,
Right.
because if He would have passed before,
Mhm.
you would have been left wondering, you would have been left feeling like, man, we could have spent some more time together. We could,
Mhm.
or you wouldn't have been able to show up the way that you wanted to. You probably would have showed up for your sister, because
Right.
that's still her father.
Right.
It does change the connection. It does change the level of intimacy that's happening within the family, and it just showed that you guys were in it together. And I think that's why
Mhm.
his homecoming was as peaceful as it was.
Mhm.
Um, just to see the little bits that I did on social media, I was like, oh, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
everybody's at peace. Like I told you, I was like, ain't nobody fighting, ain't nobody tussling, and I didn't see nobody on TikTok. Like how they do with kids
Mhm.
and stuff. And I was like, it's such a blessing to, even when things are not even though things don't end the way that we want them to, God will still give us the room and the space to have what we need in those moments.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I honestly, day by day, listen, grieving is a serious thing.
come on now, talk about
um, my God, like I'm literally, I literally have to say, wow, I'm really going through this. Like I really lost a parent, and some days I'm good. Like I think because I was able to get back into my regular routine.
yeah,
But then there are days where I have to just sit in my feelings. I literally have to just sit there. It's an ugly day today. It's a crying day today. It's all of that today, and I'm gonna sit in it. But and you said the word peace. And what gives me so much peace with knowing that my relationship with my dad was good at towards the end, knowing that he's at peace. What gives me that peace is the fact that one, I know God,
yeah,
and I know that in order to live the life that I want to live, that forgiveness is for me. I had to forgive my dad
yeah,
for whatever, and I had to release that, right? But the last couple of days that I spent with my dad, I was able to. We said everything that we needed to say. Like my sister, my brother, my dad. the good, the bad, the ugly. Like we had everything wasn't always peaceful in the hospital. Like we had days
Oh,
where we went through all the feelings.
yeah.
At the end of the day, what gives me so much peace is that we was able to tell each other that we love each other.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to say, even on his sick bed, he was able to say, I always knew that you was my child.
Yeah.
And so I can't do nothing but just hold on to the memories.
Yeah.
And let him continue to rest in peace.
Yeah. And then it's bringing y'all closer together. It's like the fact that your home is now is also the melting pot where everybody, no matter what side of the fence you were sitting on or whatever was going on, it's like we're still one big happy family. We can still come together, and not that everything's always perfect because family is still family.
Family's gonna be family.
Girl, but at the same time, the fact that you guys were able to support each other in that moment,
Yeah.
and it's such a beautiful thing. Why for someone out there who may be going through, because you said grief is a interesting thing. It's a battle, because you're dealing with your own feelings, dealing with someone else's feelings sometimes, and you're still having to live life. People don't understand that you could be grieving and still trying to live life. Your
Because
process
guess what? My 2-year-old still gonna want mommy.
and
My
do.
my 14-year-old still want. I still have to be mommy, and I still have to be wife.
Yeah. How was it trying to, I guess, get into that rhythm again and still allow yourself moments to grieve?
Whew. Well, one, my supportive husband.
Hmm.
He literally saw how I was just going, like before my dad's transitioning, just going. And whatever I needed, he made sure that he was there. But even after they always say that the grieving don't start until everybody goes home
Yep.
and
It's
the phone
quiet.
calls stop.
Mm.
And that is a real deal thing. When the phone calls stop, and because people got to get back to their life, they're not gonna check on Bernita every single day, and I'm okay with that. But I remember after the dust had settled, I remember literally staying in bed all day long, and my husband allowed me to do that. He took the kids downstairs. He knew that I needed that. He allowed me to have that moment of just solitude. He
Mm.
really allowed me to have that moment, and I'm so thankful that even though it was just me laying in the bed, that meant so much to me because you know that I'm grieving,
Yeah.
and there's nothing you can say. There's nothing anybody can say. Just let me sit in my feelings today. And
Mm.
he allowed me to sit in my feelings, and so when those moments happens, I just sit in it.
Come on now. Now I want to throw this out there because both of us are married. If you are single and you're listening to this, don't get no man who's gonna expect you to still act and function in moments of like this. Like if you can't have someone who's gonna support you in these emotional times, to be like, oh well, you're supposed to be cooking, right? I'm hungry. Like, well, these kids are crying. Can you change the baby diaper? It's like, first of all,
Mm-hmm. Do you see that I barely got out of bed today?
I was like, I still need to wash my own buns right now. Like, get on out of
Exactly.
here. I'm dealing with something. Like, be here with me. See what I need and get that done and be in the trenches with me. Like I say in my not no shameless plug, but I say in my book, I say when you're looking for a partner, you need to find someone who's gonna fight for their dreams and yours.
Yes.
And those seasons may be up, it may be down, it may be even just stagnated. Like there's moments where you just feel like I should be doing something. It's like, no, baby, let's just enjoy that it's quiet. Like
Right.
my husband has to remind me of that.
Yes.
Now, I want to pivot just a little bit because I did say she owns a salon. Now, her and her husband own this salon together. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like they don't people would normally say Oprah and Stedman. I don't know who they would equate this to nowadays. I don't know how young you are listening to this, but or Beyonce and Jay-Z, like the two, like y'all are doing
No.
things together. No, like it's hard to find a man that is in partnership with his wife.
Yes, come on, somebody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's in partnership. Not that everything is perfect and not that y'all don't tussle, because it's still marriage.
Because
Look,
we still tussle over here, okay?
like, but to find somebody who can catch the vision and be like, babe, I'm in this with you. Let's do this together. Let's go in this direction. Like, that's a beautiful thing. So you guys have your salon. How is it being a business owner as well? With your husband.
Okay, so let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my husband, but one thing that we had to put some boundaries in place, right? And
Okay.
so one of the boundaries that we have in place, because we're business partners too, but we're married, we're friends. He's my best friend. But one of the things that we had to put in place was, listen, babe, when we're in the compounds of our bedroom, we're not talking business, okay? We're
Come
not gonna
on.
we're not gonna talk BNW hair studio, okay? We gotta shut it off, okay? We're not finna book no appointments while we sitting in the bed. Let's set some boundaries. So that works for us. Um, we have our moments where we don't always see eye to eye when it comes to what's best for the business. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am very hands-on when it comes to the business, and I am one may say that I could be a little bit controlling.
So one may say, one may even say, look.
Yeah. But what I love so much about our partnership in business is that he has a vision. When he has a vision and I don't see it, he has that vision where he can see 10 years down the road of how the decision that we're making is going to help the business 5-10 years down the road. Me, I am that. I want to play it safe. I want to make sure, like, is this decision that we about to make, is this really going to help us 5-10 years down the road? But I love that even when we disagree when it comes to ideas, we always still come back together. Like, okay, let's revisit this. Okay, let's look at the pros and the cons of this. If we did this, what would happen if we don't do this? And it works for us. It always just worked for us.
That's cool. I love it. I like, for me and my husband, I think we're learning, if I could just be transparent, we're learning to function that way. I think that with me, I have been the person that is like, let's try this, let's do this, let's go in this direction. The visions and the
You're
desires.
my husband.
100%. And then for Khalif, he'd be like, okay, so I heard you want to do that. What does that look like on paper? And then after we do that, let's go, okay, so why do you want to do that again? And be like, well, now, good thing is that he'll go, okay, babe, well, it seems like you worked it all out. Let's go ahead and do it. But what I learned is that the underlying issue between the two of us sometimes was I call it like having like a poverty mindset, where sometimes you've experienced such a high level of lack in your past, you're scared to make the same mistake. But you have to double check, triple check, quadruple check, and sometimes it don't take all of that. Sometimes you have it.
Yeah.
You know that God is with you. You know that God is going to bless this thing because He's giving you the idea to do it. And if your steps are governed by God and you're seeking His face while you're doing that task, He's going to honor it. He's going to and just resting in that. But I ain't gonna lie, sis. I understand. It's hard.
That's that battle of flesh and your spiritual faith, and then your flesh man talking too.
You be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
It though, and I think it makes us. He covers the things that I don't cover, just like I cover the things that he doesn't, and the same thing goes for you guys as well. So, how long have you guys been in business together?
Oh wow. Okay, so backstory real quick. My husband was in the United States Air Force. And so while he was on active duty, I decided that I wanted to go back to school and get my cosmetology license. My day-to-day profession is I'm in the field of education, but I always done hair. And so I went back to get my license. I went back to school, and towards the tail end of me finishing the program, he was getting ready to transition out of the military, and he wanted to go and get his barbering license. So there's a time period where us going to school kind of overlapped each other at the same time. We were literally on campus together at the same time, taking classes. But what was so unique was I built all my clientele in our home. In our first home, I built all my clientele. So we had a 4-bedroom home, and at that time we only had 2 kids, and our kids were small, so we allowed them to share a room together. And we turned 2 of the bedrooms into, one was my salon room, one was his barbering room. But I was outgrowing that space, and you just want to keep some things separate. And I was getting clients, love the fact that I was getting an abundance of clients, but I was bringing these unfamiliar people into my home also.
I got you.
And so my husband was the one.
Yeah.
I told you he has that vision where he can see 5-10 years down the road, and I'm like, But my husband was the one that was like, okay, it's time for us to come out the house and get a building. Mind you, I hadn't got my license then. I was still in school when we actually got the building. And so we got the building, and we slowly started putting stuff in the building. I didn't even let anybody at my school, when I was in cosmetology school, I didn't really let nobody know that we already got a building. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that discouraged me a little bit was I was following this one stylist. He used to be a salon owner, and I was following him on social media. And one of the things he said that discouraged me was, and he didn't say it directly to me, it was just a regular, like, on his social media video. But one of the things that discouraged me was, he said, when you first get out of cosmetology school, you don't need to try to go get your own shop. You need to work in somebody's shop for a little while. And I was like, that's not what I want to do, because I already got it before I even finished school. But that's not what I want to do. And so while being in school, we use our own personal money to just slowly start buying the stuff that we needed. And while I was in school, I was also in the back of my mind scouting out some of my classmates. And I was like, I wonder who energy, because I'm big on that. I wonder who energy matches mine that could possibly come into the shop, So I finished a year before he did, and then he finished, and then we've been open since 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that you were kind of like peeping out the classmates and going, okay, I think you can come over here.
Yeah.
That's how you move, though. See, I think the Lord even gave your husband enough foresight to kind of prepare you, like, hey, we're already doing this. Like, it'd be different if you were in cosmetology school and then you weren't doing hair already.
Right.
We're already doing it. And at that point, he's like, you might as well just go ahead and get our own spot, so we don't have people just entering in our home to do hair. It's like, we can keep this completely separate. That's cool. I didn't know that's how you guys got started.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that I told him, because I was like, you sure we need to go ahead and do this? And he was like, we good, we can do it. One of the biggest things that I told him, I said, okay, if we do this, one thing for sure, if we don't get, and I'm gonna use improper grammar, we don't get not anybody, not now person.
Yeah.
If we don't get not now person to feel, and I know that's incorrect, but if we don't get anybody in here to fill any of our chairs, we got to make sure that we can still cover this business, this building ourselves. So that was my only stipulation.
That's wisdom. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Right.
Yeah, because somebody's out there got a big old building for about big enough for 20 stylists. And it's just you and one other person, and they're scared because they're like, oh gosh,
right,
$5,000. Why is nobody in here? Yeah, come on.
And the pandemic taught us that it pays to be the boss. Like, you gotta, and if you're gonna open up a business, you gotta plan for unexpected situations, because nobody knew that we were gonna shut down. And honestly, the beauty industry was one of the ones that hit very hard when it came to that. So you think about all these salon owners that have salon, and they are literally basing their income off of the people that pay booth rent to them. But if you got to close down because the government don't say we got to close down, your people are not paying you booth rent. So you got to make sure that you can still keep your business running. So, the pandemic also taught me too that you got to prepare for those unexpected situations.
Man, I don't think anybody could prepare for COVID. That is one of those things that
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all learning. But I think what I hear you say is that because you were not trying to, as I like to say, keep up with the Joneses. That's the
And
old
live outside of my means.
or bite off more than I can chew. What they said?
Listen, I'm a country girl, so
Yeah, I know
listen. One of the things that when my husband transitioned out of the military, when we was doing his exiting out, the person that was exiting him out asked me, "Is there anything that you're worried about?" And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I want to make sure that we're not eating sugar sandwiches." And he was like, "Where you from?" So yes, living outside your means and making sure that we're not going to be eating sugar sandwiches because social media have it now where everything is so glitz and glam, but it don't show the hardship.
Stress that come with that.
Yes,
it's heavy. Like anytime you are in a position where you are like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, and then you find out you don't have all the things necessary, or you have to pivot. Like what you guys were, the beauty industry as a whole, everybody had to pivot. Like you wondering if you want to take people at your house anymore because you don't know what they got going on, but people don't want to look crazy because they gotta go. Some folks gotta still get their hair cut. They still gotta get their hair locked up, and that's like having to pivot and doing it in safe conditions. And that's just COVID alone, but just in any situation, like even right now, the economic climate that we're in, people are having to change how they do things and when they do things and how it's going. And let me be honest with you, no matter how much you try to prepare for it, you can only do what you can do.
right.
That's all you can do. And I think with you guys being at, okay, let's start here. I'm the one that wants to go big. To reel me in a little bit. So I think that's where you came into play. And it's like, okay, so if we do this, if the two of us were the only ones working in this place, can we do it? And it's such a smart thing. It's such a smart thing to do because I am the person that'll be like, let's get 1,500 square feet and
right.
just doing the most.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
I'm doing the most.
It gotta make sense to me. It gotta make sense. If it don't make sense, what's that saying? If it don't make sense, it don't make money. I don't know, but it gotta make sense.
And it worked. That worked. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Clock it. That's what.
There we go.
Oh, I love it. So let me ask you this because I feel like you do so many different things. And what's next for you? What are you planning on doing next?
Look.
I know. I want the scoops. Tell me.
Okay, so I just recently transitioned out of public education. I was in public. You didn't know that? Yeah. No. I'm still in education, just not on the public education side anymore. So I'm not in a school district anymore. Okay. But I recently transitioned out of that role. Had been in that role for about 14 years. But and now I'm on the collegiate level now. But
wait, don't just skate past that. What? She's like, I'm on the collegiate level, and no, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, flowers. Give you your flowers. Go.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, you might hear my little Yorkie barking because my husband and my son are walking in.
You good. They know. Y'all who's listening, y'all know how we do things. Don't even worry.
Yep. Okay, good. Okay, but yeah, so what's next for me? One is I would love for Sis Are You Okay continue to grow. I talked to you before we got started, just giving you some little ideas of, where I want to go with that, which and I commend you. I'm so inspired by you. You doing one of the things that I would love to do, but I'll be honest with you. It's been that fear of doing this right here. Yeah. Talking in front of people or just talking. Because if you remember, I said earlier is that I don't really talk to a lot of people. I know a lot of people,
First of all, you cannot say that because you are an educator, okay? Just treat us all like somebody's kids. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Look, I think if I can encourage you in this moment, I struggle with it as well, like what to wear, what to do, how I look, and what I even sound like. I think getting
Right.
over my voice was the hardest thing because in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to listen to me. But it's not about me.
Right. Right.
None of this is about me. This is
Right.
all about helping somebody else. This is all about what God would have me to do to encourage
Right.
them. And that's what you want to do. So
Yeah.
if I would love to encourage you to move out of your own way.
Come on, somebody.
Move out of your own way. You're more than qualified to be.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm nobody special. I'm
Yeah.
just Alicia, who's a military kid, who's a PK kid, who's a wife, who's a mom. I've sang before. I run media ministry. These are just things that I do, but me,
Hmm.
Alicia,
Yeah.
somebody needs a piece of me. Somebody needs to see that if I can do it, they can do it too. Like, they need to see that. And they need to know that it's okay to transition. That's where you're at. You're in a place where these last few years of your life has been just getting reconnected to who you are.
Hmm.
And they need to hear that. They need to hear your story. They need to feel like they're seen. A lot of times we spend a lot of time by ourselves or thinking that I'm the only one dealing with it. So
Hmm.
God is giving you. And I promise you, when you're ready, I will walk you through whatever you need. No, like it's no charge or nothing. I am not a gatekeeper. I
Hmm.
will walk you through this process when you're ready because I'm not saying that doing a podcast is easy,
Right.
but because it takes effort.
Hmm.
But the more I've done this, the easier it's gotten.
Hmm.
The
Well,
general
I just want to tell you, I am so inspired by you. Just watching you on social media. I'm inspired by you. And I know you have sent me a message before on social media. And what I love is that you always keep God in the center of everything that you do. And I see that. I see it. I see it. I see it. And I love that for you. And I love that. But you have sent me a message encouraging me. And I know in one of the messages you sent me, you said that I inspired you. But I'm here to tell you that you inspire me. So I'm so grateful to be sitting in your presence today.
oh, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Look, I'm telling you, like the journeys that we're on, they are necessary. Are
Yes.
necessary. And like I tell everybody, I don't know what I'm doing.
We just all out here doing it.
That's
Doing it.
it. I, I,
I tell people all the time, don't follow me because it's gonna be the blind leading the blind. I'm telling you.
I told somebody the other day that what you're standing in is my yes. I just say yes. God, you're asking me to do something that I've never done before. Now, when I was younger, I was like, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I loved animals, but like secretly, I wanted to be on the radio. And I was like, nobody's going to listen to me. Here I am. I turned 40 this year. And here I am. I know, girl. Oh, I turned and I turned
Okay.
40 this year. And it's like I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do when I was 10 and 12 years old.
Yeah.
That little girl that wanted to do things like this, it's like I'm doing it. It's no longer about the way I look and the way I feel, the way I'm not judging myself so harshly anymore. It's more like somebody needs to hear what I have to say. To hear
Yes.
somebody else. That's why I have you on here. Somebody needs to be
Yes. And I
encouraged.
appreciate it. I really
Yeah.
do.
So
Yeah.
when you're ready,
I'm coming to you.
come
Listen,
on.
I feel like the past couple of years, you hear me say I'm going through transition and stuff. But I also feel like I was in a place of just being stuck. And I
Mm.
know I'm really not stuck. And I know during those seasons where it feels like you stuck, God is still being God and God is still working.
Come on now.
But I felt like, okay, I'm stuck, God. I'm really stuck. Like literally this when 2025 came in, I did do a Sis Are You Okay vision board workshop. And that was one of the things that I said, if you could go back and describe what 2024 felt like to you, what how would you describe it? And to me, I said I felt stagnant. I felt stuck. I felt like God wasn't moving. He wasn't doing what I wanted him to do. But now, if I fast forward to now, I see I was never stuck. He was still doing what he needed to do. I think all of that prepared me to be able to sit here with you today. Like,
Yeah. Come
yeah.
on. And every bit of this is just affirmation that you can do this.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
That's all it is and we've had a good time. Everybody, I know if you like what you've heard, if you are encouraged and you feel just all warm and tingly inside, because that's just what we do when the two of us get together. Like, just let her know that you're thankful for what she has shared today, and that you can't wait for her to start her podcast or whatever medium she
Mhm.
decides to go in, that you can't wait to follow her too, because I promise you this woman right here will drop some true gems in your life. Now, we're not wrapping up exactly right now because I have one more question for you.
Okay.
What is something that you want to encourage somebody else who may be in transition in their life at this moment, or a nugget, a gold nugget as I like to call it, that you want to encourage somebody else with?
Okay. What would I encourage? Um, I probably what I'm telling myself right now. I am giving myself grace.
Hmm.
And what that looks like, grace looks like I don't always, and you got a book on it. I don't always have to be the strong friend.
Yeah.
I don't always have to have it together. I don't always have to just have it right. Give yourself grace. So my advice to any lady out there, whether you're transitioning like I am, or whether you're stuck like I was, or whether you feel like God is not listening to you or he's not moving, give yourself grace in this season right here. Allow yourself to have grace, and whatever you're feeling, feel all the feelings. Allow yourself to feel the feelings.
Come again, sis. Tell
Feel
them
all the
again.
feelings. There you go, Leisha.
Catch it. For real. Feel all the feelings. That's true. There's too much. There's too many of us that are just bottled up and holding stuff in and just not able to release, really
Yeah.
release. And I want to say thank you. You have been such a joy. I cannot wait to get the feedback. Y'all, please make sure. I'm going to have all of her social media handles. Y'all follow her. Y'all follow her shop. And look out for Sis, Are You Okay? Because I want you to do another one because I need to be on the panel. I need to be talking to somebody.
And
And
I need you on the panel. So yes.
yes, I cannot wait. I want to be. If I can't even be up there, I just need to be in the room because
Yeah.
I just know that there's so many people that were blessed by it, and I speak a blessing over your ventures going forward, the ones
Thank
that you
you
currently have, and the new ones that God is developing in you, sis. All right.
so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, guys, I promise you, we have so much that's coming up. Of course, Deliver Her Conference, September 19th and the 20th. Virtual tickets are still available. I think we have up to about 100 available right now. We're capping out at 150, so we have 100 right now. So please make sure you get your virtual ticket if you're not in the Middle Georgia area. But if you are, come on, you need to get your tickets. You have just a few more weeks left before we have to close them out, and I'm so excited. It's going to be a good time in the Lord. Don't forget, you can pre-order my book, No Longer the Strongest Friend. Thank you, it is literally my love letter to every strong friend out there, to be encouraged, to seek community, and to really just rest in what God has for you. So lean into it, lean into your community, lean into God. He has us. And that's it for this episode. So, as we like to end every episode on Wild Preacher's Kid, keep going and keep being wild to God for God. Nothing else. We'll see you next week.